Welcome to yet another Minute Microscopy. I'm Eric Rosenblatt, and I'd love it if you'd like the video and maybe leave a comment down there. So today, I think I'd like to talk about what my next operating system will be when I'm finally forced to change it by it being too outdated to actually use. Currently, and probably surprisingly to many, my main computer right now, as of now, is running Windows 7. There are many reasons for that, but it doesn't really matter as far as this video goes. Eventually, inevitably, there will come a time when I won't be able to use it for anything other than legacy purposes. I'll then have to upgrade. But I will not be changing to Windows 11 or whatever flavor of the month is available at that time. And I won't be changing to Mac OS. I'd switch to DOS before doing that. The operating system I'll be going to is Linux. Why? Well, for starters, most Linux variants aren't naggy or tracky. I have Windows 11 on my TV computer as well as on my work computer, and the user experience is kind of awful. Things constantly popping up, updates and changes you never asked for, and a UI that's somehow both cleaner than Windows 7, yet simultaneously more cluttered, coupled with an improved ease of finding certain things, but other things you're looking for being infuriatingly difficult to locate. I'm looking at you, Android. Oh, yeah, I will definitely do a video about that at some point. And as for the trackiness of newer Windows OSs, one only has to do a cursory examination of some of the technical analyses out there to realize the sheer level of ingsoc shit we're dealing with. Oh, and if you want further nightmare fuel, go down the rabbit hole that is the Intel Management Engine. Whew. At least Apple's a little better in that regard, but it doesn't make up for their shortcomings either. Anyway, why did I decide on Linux? Well, for me, the main reason is control. Being generally open source, I can change things, even integral things about the OS. It's not built to block the user from making modifications. Nothing will suddenly change the next time I power up my computer. Updates are manual and typically don't modify the user experience. Well, and if they do, I could just change it back. It's also a pretty anarchistic and community driven operating system, which really appeals to my personal life philosophy. Oh, and it's also really fast. There are versions of Linux that can take an old computer from the XP days, or, well, hell, even the Windows 98 days, and make them usable in the modern world, albeit with some limitations. Another reason is the popularity of the Steam Deck has encouraged developers to put a lot more focus on Linux development, and not just for games. So we're likely to see a whole lot more stuff available for Linux as time goes on. And if I really, really miss my experience with Windows, I can run almost anything through a little thing called Wine, a Windows emulator. I haven't tried it yet, but I wonder if Wine can actually run old Windows programs better than Windows itself. That's really why I'm hanging on to Windows 7 to be able to run certain older software, although it actually kind of sucks at anything XP and before. Most of the old games and programs I coded back in the day don't work on even Windows 7. At this point, there's really no reason to keep using Windows. Linux variants like Mint and Ubuntu provide a very, very Windows-like experience without all the bloat and bullshit. Linux can pretty much do everything Windows can and more. And yes, Mac too. Get over it. If you're not aware, Linux runs the internet, where you're watching this very video. Frankly, I'm sick of companies dictating to me what I should do and how I do it, and offering only one option, their option. Fuck that. It's time we disregard our subservient ways and take back control. Revolution!